Chapter 12. Truth and Consequences. Commissioner Gordon's gray mustache twitched as he surveyed the chaos. Unconscious patrons sprawled across expensive furniture, the acrid smell of that pale green gas still lingering despite the ventilation. His brown eyes settled on me with the intensity of a man who'd seen too much darkness in this city. "Commissioner," I said, gripping the edge of the table to steady myself. "I know this sounds crazy, but Jack Napier survived the fall at Axis Chemical. His face has been disfigured, and now he calls himself the Joker. If you thought he was crazy before, you should see him now. He told me his story about how it was Max Schreck who betrayed him." Gordon's expression shifted from concern to something harder. He glanced at the bullet holes scarring the ornate walls, then back to me. "Miss Thomas, are you certain it was Napier?" "Positive. He knew details about that night, about Eckhart, about Schreck's involvement. Commissioner, I struggled for the right words. He's not just dangerous anymore. He's completely unhinged. The chemicals did something to his mind. Gordon, get her out of there." Bruce's voice crackled through my hidden earpiece. Too many officers, too many questions. But Gordon wasn't finished. His weathered hand gestured toward the manila envelope. "What's that?" I hesitated for only a heartbeat. Courage, I reminded myself. That's what this city needed. Documents. The Joker claims they prove Schreck's corruption, the power plant scheme, connections to the Red Triangle Gang, bribery records. Gordon reached for the envelope, but I placed my hand over it. Our eyes met. "Commissioner, if I give this to you now, it becomes evidence. Chain of custody, legal proceedings that could take months while Schreck continues his operation." My throat tightened, but if I investigate it first, publish what I find, the public pressure could compromise a criminal investigation. Gordon finished, his voice carrying the weight of decades enforcing the law. "Miss Thomas, I understand you're a journalist. I respect that, but this is a police matter now. Renee, do not hand over those documents." Bruce commanded through the comm. "We need them." Behind Gordon, paramedics were beginning to tend to the unconscious diners. One woman stirred, moaning softly. Outside the tall windows, red and blue lights painted the Gotham skyline in urgent colors. "With respect, Commissioner," I said carefully, "Eckhart was one of yours. How many others on your force are taking Schreck's money? If these documents disappear into GCPD custody..." Gordon's jaw clenched. For a moment, I thought he might arrest me on the spot. Then he exhaled slowly through his nose. "You make a fair point," he admitted, the words clearly costing him. "But I won't have you making this city more dangerous by playing vigilante journalist. You get 48 hours to verify what's in that envelope. Then you bring everything to me, originals and copies." "Understood." I nodded, relief flooding through me. "Understood. And Miss Thomas?" Gordon's expression softened slightly. "Be careful. If Napier's really alive and thinks you're his messenger, you've just painted a target on your back." He moved away to coordinate with his officers, and I quickly tucked the envelope into my bag. My hands trembled slightly. The Joker's final words echoed in my mind. That red vigilante, the Crimson Claw, tell her she's got style. How much did he know? "Bruce," I murmured, knowing the comm would pick it up. "Did you hear what he said about..." "I heard. We'll discuss it at the bunker. Leave now before Gordon changes his mind." I slipped through the confusion of police officers and emergency responders, taking the service stairs down to avoid questions. My phone buzzed as I reached the lobby. "Selina, are you okay?" "Saw the news. Venetian room attack. Please tell me you weren't there." Guilt twisted in my stomach. I'd been so focused on the Joker's revelations, I hadn't considered how this would look to Selina. To anyone who knew I'd been at the Monarch building. "I'm fine. Was there for interview. We'll explain later. Are you okay?" Her response came quickly. I'm at the office. Shrek's been making calls all night. Nervous calls. Something big is happening. Can I see you tonight? I stepped out into the cold December air, pulling my jacket tighter. Snow had begun to fall, delicate flakes that seemed absurdly peaceful against the sirens and chaos. Tell her yes, Bruce said through the comm. We need to know what Shrek's planning. But was that the only reason I wanted to see her? Or was I using the investigation as an excuse to be near the blonde woman with sparkling blue eyes who made my heart race in ways that had nothing to do with danger? My place at 8, I texted back. I'll cook. As I walked toward the nearest subway station, I caught my reflection in a shop window. Dark hair disheveled, hazel eyes carrying shadows, that dimpled smile nowhere to be found. I looked like someone who'd just sat across from a monster and survived. My phone buzzed again, Vicky Vale this time. Call me. Editor wants full story on Joker attack. You're the only reporter. Who was inside? The envelope in my bag felt heavy with secrets and consequences. Inside were answers about Shrek, evidence that could bring him down. But using documents provided by a mass-murdering psychopath, that came with its own moral complications. Compassion for the victims of Shrek's greed, unity with Gordon and the honest officers trying to save this city, courage to face the truth, whatever it revealed, but also courage to face what was growing between Selina and me, something real and dangerous and entirely unplanned. The subway entrance yawned before me, and somewhere in the distance, I heard the distinctive calliope music of the Red Triangle Gang. They were moving again, emboldened by chaos. Gotham was fracturing, and I stood at the center holding secrets that could shatter it completely